That's awful. All right. Hey, welcome back. We're it's a running theme. Hi, you wore the same sweater. It's good to
I
see you now
did.
again.
Hmm.
I this is the same thing I wore for the last 4 times we met for the 4 episodes. So yeah, I need to do laundry, I guess. But nice to see
Well,
you
you don't
again.
have time. You have to answer all these CRO questions for free. Give give advice to the community.
Yeah, I have a couple of minutes here and there between all my all my things. So
Hmm.
trying to be more positive. Based on the last episode, I've learned that you know it's better to have a more positive outlook in life, and not everything's doom and gloom, and nothing matters. So make it matter for you. So that's a big takeaway from, and be
Yeah,
likable.
watch the last episode if you want advice on what's the meaning of life, basically.
And it's beyond 42.
Yep.
So I don't know what the questions are for this episode. I don't know if there's any existential or philosophical questions in here. We're gonna find out real quick.
I mean, knowing us, we'll probably go there anyway. But
It's good. This is therapy.
hmm
This is. Um,
okay, I'll just take the first one. What is the biggest myth about A/B testing you wish everyone would stop believing?
it's going. Oh, how truthful am I going to be? Um, that it's going to save your company in 1 month. I think that, or 2 months, whatever period of time, that it's going to turn around years of um, interesting decisions that got you to a place, and that's usually what gets CRO into trouble, because it's being sold as we're going to generate revenue, we're going to make everything work,
The
but
magic bullet.
exactly, but when all the metrics have been sinking for how many years, you can only turn around. You mentioned in the last episode that win rates are below 30%, single digits
Mhm.
often. So if you're going down like this, I don't know how this reflects on the screen, but that little boop ain't gonna do much, even if you did a really great job. So the biggest uh, myth is it'll fix all your problems. Um, that's my thought. How about you?
Mine is, I guess it's kind of like a different angle from what you just said, but mine is that you can hire one person
Yeah.
internally and then they will just like build an entire program for you with a bunch of winning tests and whatever.
Or one
Um,
person could do everything, like
yeah.
literally everything. So CROs.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
So if you believe that, then your next best option is to hire an agency.
yeah,
um, but like be prepared, be like very realistic and honest with yourself and understanding what goes into building a CRO program and A/B testing. Like you need developers, you need designers, you need strategists, you need people who understand stats. And, sometimes people have, overlapping skills and can do multiple parts or whatever, but still,
yeah.
like, one person as a CRO department is a recipe for major disaster. Like, you're just setting
Yeah.
them up for failure, and that's it.
I think there's a lot of roles you could probably put one person, but CRO is at the intersection of so much.
Hmm.
It's fairly unrealistic to find this ultra unicorn. And okay, honestly, maybe you can find this person. Maybe that person exists. Maybe you're listening to this right now, but that person is going to be paid a lot. If they can do it all, they're going to demand a lot from you. And obviously, if you're only going to hire one person, you don't have that budget anyway.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
any other myths? I'm trying to think of this. Any other myths in CRO?
I think often that what comes up is that you can copy what other people are testing
Yeah,
and then have the same results or
this is
something.
interesting conversation, or topic. What are your thoughts on that? I love. I'm kind of got a feel of what your opinion is. What's your thoughts about
Uh,
copying?
that it's stupid.
Tell me more.
I mean, even with any single test that anybody launches, if you look at a business as a holistic entity or whatever, there are a million variables that you cannot predict or know about at any given
Mhm.
time. And then just like to expect when to see, I don't know, a case study or whatever, somebody posts somewhere that, oh, I can just do the same thing and have the same results in my business that is completely different, even if it's in the same industry or whatever, it's always
Yep.
different. It's just, it's so ludicrous to me that anybody could like think that. um, but I guess I can see why people would think that if you don't have the experience or of testing or running a CRO program or whatever, but really just like you cannot replicate results exactly. You just
I think
can't.
my take on that is I agree. You can't expect to duplicate the results. I do think it's an indicator of something that would influence an outcome. Um, so let's say that you're talking about a PDP, product description page. We did this with the button and increased conversions by 10%. I think instead of looking at as if I copy them, I'll get whatever percent I just said because I don't remember. I think it's more about, well, the button is an area I should care about. Maybe
Hmm.
there's some evidence in other people's work that this is an area that I should focus on and figure out how to optimize. Now, what you do, it probably is going to differ. The results are probably going to differ. But I think seeing those case studies are good things to highlight areas that matter to customers. But again, you have to test it to validate it and what have you. Because I do see some value in all that other work, but more as like informative of, you know, things to look at.
Hi, this is Romo Santiago from Experiment Nation. If you'd like to connect with hundreds of experimenters from around the world, consider joining our Slack channel. You can find the link in the description. Now back to the episode.
Yeah, and there's some kind of distinction. I feel like people get so riled up about this topic where if you say that copying others is bad, they take it as like, oh, you're never supposed to look at what other people are doing or take inspiration from it. And it's like, it's not what we mean when we say
Yeah.
that. Like, of course, you look around and see what your competitors are doing and kind of try things out, but it's not like the same thing as implementing things blindly and then being disappointed if you don't get the same uplift or whatever.
How do you draw
It's
the line and between testing it and just doing it in terms of okay, so this is the example I'm thinking about. Um, a lot of products are starting to look very similar.
Mhm.
Often, some market leader does a thing, everyone copies a thing, like the carousel. One company did it, everyone's copying that. The hamburger icon in the navigation, one company did it, everyone's copying it. Where do you draw the line between copying and testing? Are you testing everything? Is that really possible? I'm curious where you draw that.
Yeah, this topic always makes me think of things like, the checkout experience of an e-com, for example, which is nowadays most shops at least that I see are on Shopify, and
Hmm.
Shopify has this very streamlined version of a checkout that everybody uses.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like a really crucial point in the journey where you probably don't want to go super creative or be like super different from everything else because you want people to get through that step as quickly and easily as possible. So it's kind of like probably a good thing that it's a streamlined experience across industries and shops because that's what people are expecting. And like imagine if you went on your favorite e-commerce store right now and it's like you can't find the place where to put your credit card information because they're being creative with it or like
yeah,
trying something different. Like that's kind of dumb, right? But what was
yeah.
the question?
No, but I think you're if I feel if you see a large number of predominant brands out there doing a thing
Hmm.
and you are forced to copy, it's not. I'm of the opinion it's not the worst thing in the world
Yeah,
as
maybe
long
it's
as long as it's not like super critical to like you're not going to hurt yourself. Then of course you'd want to test it. You could just go back and forth. But as long as it's
Yeah.
something that's not material to the experience, then I'm less, strict about it.
And maybe it's more about the specific step in the journey where you're at, because, like, that last crucial step, the checkout, it doesn't really matter if you differentiate there. But on the first step of discovery on the homepage, where a customer is trying to differentiate between 10 different brands and they can't because all the
Yeah,
homepages look
look the same.
identical,
Yeah,
that's a problem. That's where you need to be creative. That's where you need to stand out and differentiate like super heavily, right? So,
mm,
again, context, I guess.
that's fair. Are we on the second question, or was that the third? No, we're in the second.
That was
What are the top considerations and biggest challenges you believe people face when selecting an experimentation platform?
probably.
That's good. That's Freudian.
Yeah, Freudian slip. Yeah. What are the considerations? Selecting an experimentation platform. For me, it's cost and trying to understand what the cost is, because most of them just hide it, and so you have to sit through endless demos and sales
That's
calls
true.
to even find out.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you're sort of an experienced CRO experimentation person, the tools, they kind of function all the same way.
Hmm.
You just need a platform to deliver the test reliably and show you some numbers about it, which you're going to probably analyze later through some raw data export or whatever anyway. So it's, yeah, for me it's 100% just understanding what the cost is.
I think platform folks listening to this podcast will probably disagree strongly that
Oh, I know.
every
I
platform is
expected all
differentiated,
the all the tools to
and
come after me.
we target for this use case. And I think those are all fine answers. I think about this question in a different way. The biggest challenge that people face are usually the buy-in part. These are not the cheapest tool. It depends on what the size of the company. At least my experience in getting these tools, it's usually a political challenge where even if a group doesn't use it that much, if they weren't consulted in the decision, they'll raise all sorts of political stink for you. So I think the biggest challenge is getting everyone's needs heard, at least in this selection, and making people feel they're part of the selection process. This is talking like enterprise politics, but if you don't do that and you go forward with the platform, you better believe the first time the platform has a problem, you'll hear it from the other group. We weren't consulted. You didn't think about this use case and what have you. So I think the people part is actually one of the biggest parts of selecting, because you're right, they're almost all the same. Definitely have differences. I'm not going to
Yeah.
sugarcoat that. They some are capable in things and others are not. But largely, it's splitting traffic. So largely, it's
Hmm.
the same. Um, but how happy people are is going to be big. So imagine your finance person is going to pay for this. Typically, if they're not happy with it, you know,
Hmm.
you're gonna have problems. The first problem is to boot them. So yeah, that's I think the people part of it is the biggest problem or challenge.
Yeah, and I guess I would add to that the UX part of it as well. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fair.
Think about who are the people that will be using this tool every single day, and
Yeah,
can they navigate the UX reliably? Because, yeah, now that I think about it, there are definitely some where, even though I know that the functionality underneath is what I need, if I
yeah,
can't find the spot where I can preview my freaking test, like, I'm going to be pissed off.
yeah.
And like,
Or
yeah,
I
just
can't
like,
understand these results. It's like, what are you
mhm,
trying to tell me? Because some are more open with all the numbers, and others are
yeah.
more they summarize most of the results.
Yeah,
Um,
or they feel the need to differentiate between all the other tools, so they start inventing this internal lingo that
yeah,
doesn't really mean anything to me yet.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just speak plain English. Um,
yeah.
okay, number 8. Sorry,
Um.
number 8. Yes,
Okay. Working with difficult clients.
true. False? I don't know.
It's just a statement.
Where this is their status.
There's not
Um,
even a question mark here.
this is their for those who are old enough to remember Twitter, is
Hmm.
working with difficult clients. Tweet. Yes. Uh, no, don't do that. I'm 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 against it. Working with difficult. Are you pro or against working with difficult clients?
It's one of those things where I think a lot of CRO experimentation people have a very like specific way that they want to do things, or
Hmm.
like a specific mental model, and then and I am 100% guilty of this myself too. I'm not calling anyone out, but like we
Name names.
want we want the client or our stakeholders or whoever to perfectly fit into our mental model because we feel like we have the experience and we know better. And
Yeah,
when they don't fit into that, we get frustrated and call them difficult to work with. When
yeah,
in reality, especially if you're on agency side, it's like it's your job to cater to the client, not the other way around.
yeah,
And that's the approach that we always try to fit with tools and tech stack. And their way of working is like, okay, we need to insert ourselves into their process and then bring extra value in optimizing
yeah.
things, right?
No, no, I agree. I think it's this preconceived notion of what a good and bad client is.
Mm-hmm.
I think about, I don't know if you ever try to teach someone stats. So trying to teach people on p-value and all that, you have,
Mm-hmm.
at least in my experience, you have this notion of the order and how you're going to explain the different concepts. So you have this workshop, you're going to show the things. Uh, 11 out of 10 times, no one understands the way that you've done it, and they kind of throw a wrench in how you're going to proceed with your lesson, and you're kind of jumping all over the place, and it gets a little bit chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
That's normal. That's normal because no one thinks the same. So adapting to who you're working with is critical. Being flexible and just not that you should care, but stop being so precious with how things should go. I've let things go that I feel passionate about go because I knew that it would be productive the conversation. I decided to come back to it later. You don't have to win every argument up front. What you
Mm-hmm.
need is for them to buy into you, for them to um, think that you're competent, to think that this is the right way. You can correct the little details as you move on, because any engagement is longer than a second, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have time to course correct.
Yeah, and I've had also lots of, maybe not lots, but some experience with like there are people in house who just don't have the experience or understanding of what it should be like to work with external consultants. So they tend to see it often as like this big threat to their job or identity or like or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas and then it's our job to put them at ease, like, no, we are here to literally help you. Like
Uh-huh. This
it's
reminds me of
yeah.
a recent client I've had where so I've worked in house for a lot of years, and I know what that feels like, coming in as
Mhm.
an external body.
Yeah.
Suddenly the chit chat that happened prior to the actual meeting goes quiet once you join,
Mhm.
when they realize you're on the line, and everyone gets like, two or three times more formal and a little bit more cautious with what they say, and it becomes kind of this PR job where you have to connect with each one and try to go, hey man, I'm just here to help. I'm not here to tell the CEO to fire you.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
totally.
not into that. But as a lot of people have experience, they do hire consultants to fire people. Um, so it's very important
Yeah,
to highlight.
that's not usually about the CRO consultants. It's like different type of consulting, I think.
Yeah, but I think they hear consultant and
Yeah,
they're like, okay,
there's
am I
like a
not
weird
doing it?
stigma
Yeah,
attached to that word, for sure.
exactly. Um,
Um, is it my turn? Oh no, it's your turn. Go ahead.
we have a real question here with a question mark. Um, how do others share and organize test learnings at large organizations? I laugh.
Um, I mean, usually it's some kind of tool, mostly Airtable or Notion or whatever, where you gather your test results and research ideas and whatnot. And then you have meetings where you present things, and then you have a watered down version of that for executives that are not so bogged down in the details, I guess.
My perspective on this is they don't.
Yeah, that's the other like truth that
A
nobody wants to talk
spreadsheet
about.
with a test name, win loss, lift. That's the worst case I've seen at a large company where it's a spreadsheet and it's just a line with no you can't trace anything. You can't figure out what's going on there. At better places, especially the places where I worked and I set it up, you'd love to think that they have some sort of repo of these things with the tickets connected to a larger research kind of database, or if you have your qual people, your design research people, that's all going in the same place. But I've learned that very few people do that. So if you're asking for what are the learnings around this type of feature, very few companies are able to go, well, we have this research, these experiments, here you go. It's mostly,
Hmm.
I don't know, ask that guy over there. He ran some tests and you chase. So um, my answer is they
Oh,
no.
that's so real. Um,
Other than what's in the tool. Sometimes stuff's in the tool, but if you switch tools, or it's in Confluence, that's another classic one. Try searching
mm.
that one, and try to
Yeah,
report.
and it's one of those things where in the moment it feels like a really thankless job, because especially if it's not like a massive win or a massive loss or whatever, you're going to do all this work to analyze the test and put together a nice report, then kind of like everyone's like, "Oh, okay, cool," but like nobody says anything. There's no meaningful discussion happening about it. And so you're like, oh, "Okay, what's the point of putting in all this effort to have all this database of everything that we've ran and whatever," but then later, yeah, 6 months goes by or a year and somebody comes at you like, "Can you just pull me a report of all the things we did in the past 6 months?" And you're like, "Oh crap, like we haven't done that and now I gotta spend the next
Yeah,
2 weeks putting these reports together," right?
I got burned by that. The first time I started the program at a large company. Ever since then, I maintained that thing like weekly because I knew the
Mhm.
question was going to come. Pull all the things. What did we do in all this time period? So I think getting burned a lot will help you structure what works at your company, if you survive. But
Mhm.
yeah, unfortunately, it's disorganized. I don't think there's a common thing. Google Docs is used. Airtable's used a lot. Usually something with a lot of vertical lines and horizontal lines, and people dump
Mhm.
stuff into it, but
Yeah.
nothing really structured.
And the other thing I want to call out on this topic is that I see a lot of companies and agencies um, kind of categorize this work as this grunt work that is below sort of the senior strategist. So they dump it onto the most junior employees
Oh no.
who were not necessarily super knowledgeable about all the work and technical detail that went into the test. So they're
Hmm.
less able to discern some kind of learnings from it and write like conclusions about it. And
Yeah.
then it becomes the same problem where, okay, like we have some information about these tests, but then 6 months later, we need to look back and nobody remembers what actually happened because the main analysts and strategists who were actually working on this test didn't put in the time to write the proper conclusions and whatnot. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
if it's something to cover your ass, maybe do the legwork to make sure that the stuff covers your ass. Um,
Hmm. And it is helpful, like to yourself too, if you have it.
oh
Like it
yeah, of
helps you refine your
course.
thinking about the product and website or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely something that I think every single person in our industry struggles with.
Yeah. Next one.
Go ahead.
Um, how do CROs collaborate with UX and research teams? How do they mitigate tension or difference in opinion, conflicting priorities, or goals? Someone is having work drama.
I mean, this to me is a very interesting question because in reality, all of these teams should have the same
Yeah,
goal and be the best teams to work together with. So, yeah, I want to know more. What's happening there?
I think often, if I were going to guess where this is coming from, I think it'd be around the potentially the CRO is seeing something that is counter to what UX believes is right, even based on research or not. Usually it's not based on research, and they have like this opinion that a customer should go through a particular experience because it's right. Um, how do I collaborate with them? I get this question a lot, and my answer is never that strong. I literally just talk to them. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why that's, how do we get two groups to get along? The two groups have to talk. And
Just
I,
talk.
I've been asked this question a lot in the last few months, and it's like,
What are we doing,
"Oh,
people? Just talk to each
just
other.
talk, document some stuff so it doesn't look like you're pulling out of your butt." But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just have those conversations. Usually, we're on the same side. I don't know why you would run experiments in absence of a UX team, because
Mm-hmm.
it's all part of experience and you both have learning. So yeah, talk more. I like to put stuff. What I used to do is I mentioned it earlier in this episode, all the learnings go into one place. And I like to be chummy with them, where if they learn something that's pertinent to the user experience, and particularly a conversion or business goal, I will promote their research through my channels and vice versa. So we have this kind of like joint effort in getting all the customer information out, and that makes you a little bit closer. But yeah, it all starts with talking and understanding.
Mm-hmm. I guess it also depends on like, every organizational hierarchy is kind of set up in a different way. And sometimes these teams, in a perfect world, it does sound like all these teams should be under the same umbrella at least and work very closely together, but often that just doesn't happen, I guess, because somebody has set up these different departments and they're
Yeah,
siloed and they don't know what each other are doing, sort of. So yeah, because like at the end of the day, if everybody's doing research, that should be shared and used collectively for the greater good, right? Like there's no point in running the same research under different departments.
yeah. And I think just highlighting that no one's trying to replace the other.
Mhm.
It should be obvious, but saying that up front is a good way to deal with the tension between these two groups. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Where it could be just the way that the org grew and they're just separated
Mhm.
physically, but you can find them and have those conversations. I guess
Yeah.
my kid is screaming. Hold on, he's gone. Okay, I may cut that part out.
No, it's real stuff. They-
um,
I need to go lie down for a bit.
yeah, me too. That last question about the UX, that just exhausted me so much. I
I
need a
mean, I
nap.
feel like we are also just like trying to invent context to a lot of these questions because people kind of, ask these pretty general things. So we have to fill in the blanks for ourselves to
Yeah,
come up with some kind of story or something.
I think the next time we should just like, I've always had this idea. I did this at a different podcast, and I don't know if I'm going to include this into this one, but it was a conversation between three of us across distance, and we all had milk. Okay, follow me, and a
Hmm.
jar. And as we were talking about whatever it is literally random conversation. We were all shaking these containers of milk, and the podcast ends when we make butter. So it's like, how did you? No, we're still going, and we have a conversation, and it's like, oh, at the end, I have my butter and pour it out. Everyone shows their butter. Okay, well, that was the episode. Thanks. It's kind of like
Well,
a forced way to end the thing in a way that the audience goes, well, they accomplished something. They did a thing.
yeah,
I don't
you have
know.
some kind of tangible product
Yeah,
at the end.
it's
I
like
mean, I have to admit this is pretty original. I haven't heard that one before.
I don't know if I'll steal it, but I think we need to have something where at the beginning it's one version of it, and at the end it's something else, and it's like, oh, it's
Hmm.
time to put the cookies in the oven. I don't know why it's cooking, because I'm thinking about TikTok and stuff like cooking works.
Okay.
You need a nap, huh? Me too.
Yeah.
What time is it there?
It is 2:30.
Is
For
that
me.
sun behind you, or is that like a lamp?
That's a lamp.
No, the other side, like literally behind you.
Over here
Is that
or
sun?
over there?
Uh,
Here?
what's the point of me pointing? Because we don't know which. The hand literally behind you, like 180 degrees behind you.
Over there.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
lamp.
not the lamp. The other direction.
Over
Yeah,
here.
there. Sure, there.
That's a window, yes. That's
Oh,
like
so it
daylight.
actually is light. Oh, you're lucky.
Hmm.
It's pitch black as heck here. So
Oh, okay.
enjoy.
Well, we are just animals after all, and we need to hibernate for the winter, so.
There's always Gerdisms in these podcasts where we're talking CRO and business and politics, and then you come up with this thing about how we're all animals after all. And it's very deep. Suddenly, it's very zen. And
I mean, it's true. It's
I
the
know
truth.
it's true.
I'm
I
here to speak the truth, okay?
just find it interesting. All right.
Okay.
Until
Thanks
next
everyone
time.
for your
Talk
questions.
soon. If you can submit more questions, maybe we'll do a thing for the next episode. I don't know what. Well, I'll change my sweater at least. So finally, after 4 episodes.
Okay. Happy end of the year or
Happy
whenever
end
you're
or beginning of the year. Hey, happy New Year! It was a good long time
Yeah.
to see. All right.
Okay, thanks.
Ciao.
Our new book, Prove It or Lose It, the mostly no-nonsense guide to surviving experimentation program drama, is out now. Find it at experimentation.com and all major bookstores today.